What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again for another Manchester City transfer update. Before I do crack on with today's video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, then do subscribe to my channel. Remember, daily Manchester City transfer updates coming in a few weeks' time from June 1st to keep you guys up to date here on YouTube every single day with all the latest Manchester City transfer news. So if you haven't already, do subscribe. It is free. I'm aiming for 43,000 subscribers. We're now less than 150 subs away from that, so any help towards that would be greatly appreciated. Check out my social media links. You can find them in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and do leave a thumbs up on this video as well. We smashed 500 likes in the last one, so let's knock it up by an extra 100. Let's go really ambitious. 600 likes. Any help towards that would be great. And finally, this video is sponsored and brought to you by Kitbag, where you can go and check out the Manchester City shirt for the 2025-2026 season. They've got replica home shirts, authentic home shirts, home goalkeeping shirts, all released today ahead of the new season. So do go and check it out. They've got lots of printing and sizes available. They've got lots of other stuff that you can go and check out as well over on there. I'll leave the link in the description. They've got lots of other stuff as well, so do go and check it out. Links and details there in the description. And remember, use code WHISTLE on checkout and you'll get free delivery. So, having a look then at the outers, we've got no contract news. We've got the latest on Callum Doyle, and Norwich City today have released their retain list, and they've confirmed that Callum Doyle's loan at Norwich City has come to an end and he has returned back to Manchester City. It seems like Norwich City are not keen on making this deal permanent. Callum Doyle is seeking a permanent move away from Manchester City, which is what we're speaking about in one of my transfer updates from last week. So Callum Doyle looking like he's going to be leaving Man City on a permanent basis, but it looks like it won't be the club that he spent the last season out on loan with at Norwich City. Instead, Norwich City keen on tying down Jacob Wright, because Norwich City have confirmed that whilst Jacob Wright's loan has ended there and has returned back to Manchester City like Callum Doyle has, they have made sure that they've included that they are in discussions right now to try and make that deal permanent. Discussions are ongoing, nothing agreed as of yet, nothing in place as of yet, but Norwich City working on trying to sign Jacob Wright on a permanent deal from Manchester City. But it does look like Callum Doyle will be staying, at least for the foreseeable, with Manchester City, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of interest from other clubs around the English Football League, maybe even the Premier League, in Callum Doyle. Now, moving on to the ins, we've got the latest on Dani Olmo back in the headlines, and Matteo Moretto, who's not the most reliable of sources, but what he was saying was really interesting, so I wanted to speak about it in my transfer update. He says that Manchester City hold an interest from last summer and in January in Dani Olmo, and apparently his priority number one when it comes to Man City potentially signing a new number 10 this summer. Manchester City apparently dream of Dani Olmo. I don't see Barcelona selling Dani Olmo this summer. I do think that this is just one of these names that's been chucked out there. We know that City have previously been interested, and the name's just been recycled to try and get some clicks, try and get some interactions. And I don't see Dani Olmo leaving Barcelona. I don't see Man City signing Dani Olmo this summer from Barcelona as well. Toni, Juanmarti in Spain, who works for Sport, he said that City did inquire in January to Barcelona about Dani Olmo. However, nothing materialised from that. Barcelona were struggling to register Dani Olmo. They managed to get that sorted, and Man City cooled their interest from there. And I do believe they're just using old links here to try and rejuvenate and bubble up some rumours to send it in the rumour mill into overdrive. And as I said, to get profiles relevant, get people clicking on things, etc., etc. I just don't see this transfer happening, if I'm being completely honest with you. Dani Olmo is a 27-year-old Spanish attacker at Barcelona. He's got a whopping release clause set at 500 million euros. For me, it's a non-starter. For me, maybe Dani Olmo becoming the new Isco, getting linked every single window with a move to Manchester City. Now, moving on, we've got the latest on Tino Livramento from Newcastle and Fabrizio Romano, and I found this really interesting because he singled out Tino Livramento as one of 4 right-backs that Manchester City are interested in signing this summer. He says that Man City want to try and get a new fullback sorted ahead of the Club World Cup, and they've identified a 4-man shortlist for replacing Kyle Walker, who will leave Manchester City this summer even if AC Milan don't sign him on a permanent basis as per their loan agreement. Now, I'm going to presume that these names that City are having a look at, obviously we've got Livramento from Newcastle. We've been heavily linked with Wesley, the Brazilian right-back from Flamengo. Obviously, Andrea Cambiasso, the versatile full-back as well from Juventus. And we've seen Savona, that we were speaking about in yesterday's transfer update, be linked with a move to Man City from Juventus as well. Now, Livramento is a 22-year-old full-back who can cover both on the right-hand side and left-hand side, so versatile. So that would appeal to Man City. But he's also English and homegrown, which again would appeal to Man City, because replacing Kyle Walker, a homegrown player, with another homegrown fullback makes a lot of sense. The only problem here is I just cannot see Newcastle selling, if I'm being completely honest. Livramento is a class player. I'd love him at Manchester City. To me, he'd be priority number one when it comes to bringing a fullback in to the Etihad Stadium this summer. And if there was even an ounce of a possibility of Man City being able to get this transfer sorted, I think City should be doing everything they can to try and make that happen. I think with the words here that Fabrizio Romano has used, which I do believe is probably coming from sources close to Man City, they're trying to get something sorted ahead of the Club World Cup. Signing somebody like Livramento is going to take weeks, if not months, to get a deal sorted. So that's not going to be sorted before the Club World Cup, and it's more than likely going to be a very simple, very easy transfer. And it is more than likely going to be either resuming our negotiations for Andrea Cambiasso, or it could be Savona, perhaps as a contingency, Wesley another option, rather than Livramento. I'd say it's probably out of them four names, probably the most unrealistic, but to me, maybe the best option for Man City. So what we're going to do remains to be seen. And Scott Wilson at the Northern Echo, a source close to Newcastle United, has said that Manchester City, if they do make any move this summer for Livramento, it is going to be rejected by Newcastle. Newcastle say that he's a key player to their current squad. He's key to the future plans as well, and the stance is he isn't for sale this summer. So if a move was to happen, it'd have to be the player that forces this move. And just like we had with Bruno Guimaraes last summer, these players that play for Newcastle, they're very passionate players. They enjoy the city, they enjoy the lifestyle, they enjoy playing for Newcastle United. They're a very passionate city, passionate about their football, passionate about the football club, and a lot of the players really enjoy being part of the team and playing for Newcastle. So to prize a player away from Newcastle is very difficult. I can't see the player asking for a transfer request or wanting the move to Manchester City to upset, because if the move doesn't happen, you know, that's Newcastle fans will turn on him. As I said, they're very passionate about their football, and that means getting behind the lads and backing them 100%. But if a player turns the back on them, then the fans will turn the back on him. So I can't see it happening, if I'm being completely honest with you. As much as I want it to happen, I can't. I put down in my notes about Newcastle might not make Champions League football, and if Man City do, that there might be a possibility that he asks for the transfer, maybe. But I can't see it happening, if I'm being completely honest. To be honest, whilst Newcastle haven't secured Champions League football for next season, City haven't also secured Champions League football for next season. It does make it real tricky right now for the next couple of weeks that we want to plan for the summer, but we don't know what competitions we're going to be playing in as of yet. We're hoping it's going to be the Champions League, but that's not a guarantee right now. Same with Newcastle. So we've just got to try and keep our eyes and ears open. But in terms of bringing a player in before the Club World Cup, I just can't see that player being Livramento. So we'll see. And City could choose to bring in a fullback during that little period that we've got between June 1st and June 10th for the transfer window being open, to add a player for the Club World Cup. And I reckon City are probably going to take their opportunity to do that, but I just don't think it will be Livramento. But we live in hope. Anyway, moving on, we're to the final story of today. We've got the very latest on Rodrygo, the winger, the attacker, whatever you want to call him, the versatile forward over at Real Madrid, 24-year-old Brazilian player. Anyway, he's been linked with a move to Manchester City, and Marca over in Spain have said that Rodrygo is going to make a decision on his future for this summer in the coming days. Real Madrid's stance crystal clear. Any player that wants to leave will be leaving this summer. They only want players who want to be at Real Madrid, who are willing to pretty much put everything on the line for the cause, and Rodrygo looking very much like he's going to be the odd one out when it comes to potential world-class attacking forwards that Real Madrid have got. And I'll be honest, I'd be very surprised if Rodrygo is still a Real Madrid player come the end of this summer transfer window. And if there are any major European clubs that could make a Rodrygo transfer happen, Man City would surely be one of the favourites. I'm sure there'll be plenty of interest coming in from Saudi Arabia prepared to pay Rodrygo big money as well. So we will see what will happen. I'm sure there'll be other clubs across Europe that will be competing as well. City getting linked last week heavily with a move for Rodrygo. So it remains to be seen. It's like a lot of the stuff that we're dealing with in this summer transfer window. Whilst you look at the squad and say, we don't necessarily need that kind of player, we don't need a Rodrygo, but we look at the summer transfer window and we've got some question marks about a couple of Man City's attacking players, including that of question marks over Jack Grealish being linked with the exit door, which opens up another homegrown problem for Manchester City. Means that there could be a little bit of manoeuvrability when it comes to potential attackers being brought in, and in particular I'm looking towards that left-hand side with Grealish and the right-hand side with some doubts over Bernardo Silva also being linked with a move to Benfica over in Portugal going back home. So these players end up leaving, then we're going to need to bring in forward. So it may just be a case that we've got to be a bit patient in this window. We need some clarification on what the players' plans are come the end of the season and heading into the new season for the 2025-2026 season. But again, we need to know which competitions we're playing in, and right now we've still not got things tied down, so it makes it a bit frustrating. This window's frustrating but also very exciting, so strap yourselves in. Whilst I was editing this transfer update, I saw a very interesting story just pop up. It does mean we've got the latest on Florian Wirtz now. Christian Falk, who works for BILD over in Germany. Normally reliable when it comes to information coming in from Germany, in particular around Bayern Munich. Now, Christian Falk has said that Manchester City are currently trying to hijack Bayern Munich's deal to try and sign Florian Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen. Now, Florian Wirtz is a 22-year-old attacking midfielder, valued at around 100 million euros. We're looking at around 85 million pounds for Bayer Leverkusen to sell to a foreign team outside of Germany. For Bayern Munich, remember, we were reporting yesterday there's a special Bayern Munich price of 150 million euros. We're looking at somewhere around 130 million pounds. Now, this is really interesting. Christian Falk has said there is concrete interest and a concrete offer has gone in by Manchester City to Bayer Leverkusen. Man City have got really good relations with Bayer Leverkusen, and I believe that Bayer Leverkusen would prefer to sell Florian Wirtz to Manchester City than to Bayern Munich. Now, also really interesting, Bayer Leverkusen have now abandoned the idea that Florian Wirtz is going to sign a new contract with them, so it's looking like a transfer for Florian Wirtz is going to be sorted this summer. It remains to be seen as to whether it will be to Man City or if it will be to Bayern Munich or if it will be to Real Madrid. If it is to be Bayern Munich, there is the potential opportunity that that deal could be sorted heading in to next summer rather than this summer, but that deal gets agreed this summer, so it would be a pre-transfer agreement set this summer going into obviously the summer of 2026. But Christian Falk has said that Pep Guardiola has been on the phone to Florian Wirtz entourage to speak personally with them to let them know that he is keen and Man City are keen. They see him as Kevin De Bruyne's successor. They want Florian Wirtz, and right now Man City are playing a game of poker with Bayern Munich to try and bring Florian Wirtz in. Now, as I was saying in yesterday's update, my expectation even right now, even with this news story, is German players like to stay in Germany. They like to play for the biggest and best teams in the Bundesliga, which is Bayern Munich. So I reckon that's where Florian Wirtz will end up, but Manchester City are not giving up without a fight. They're doing everything they can to try and make this transfer happen. I think the big hurdle that we've got here for Man City isn't the transfer fee. I don't think there's any problem with that whatsoever. There's no problems with getting that agreement with Bayer Leverkusen. It's all about what does Florian Wirtz want to do, and does Florian Wirtz want to turn down or turn his back and turn away from Bayern Munich to join Manchester City, or is he just overly keen on joining Bayern Munich only? And I think that's the game of poker here, is the decision comes to the player and the player ultimately making that decision. We've seen Florian Wirtz compliment Manchester City and speak about Manchester City, but his advisors, his entourage, his own parents have said they want him to stay in Germany and they want him to play for Bayern Munich. So what is the decision going to be? Man City are doing everything in their power to try and convince Florian Wirtz to join them and getting everything tied up in terms of this transfer, that if Florian Wirtz ends up saying, I'm not joining Bayern Munich this summer, then Man City are ready to come in and say, here's the money, Bayer Leverkusen, come and join us, Florian Wirtz, and be Kevin De Bruyne's replacement and successor. That's the latest on this. As I said, I still expect him to join Bayern Munich, so I don't want to get people's hopes up, but that's the information that's coming in from Germany right now. And last week it was looking very negative. This week they're saying, there's still a little chance that City could still make this transfer deal happen. I called it an official saga in my last transfer update, and I'm maintaining that the Florian Wirtz saga continues with information coming in every single day. I'm sure it'll be very contradicting going into tomorrow. We'll have more updates and more information. Yeah, there we go. That's the latest. So if you haven't already, do subscribe. It is free to subscribe to my channel. I'll keep you up to date from June 1st every single day with all the latest City transfer news here on YouTube. So do subscribe. It's free. Also, don't forget social media links there in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. Ambitious, 600 likes. Any help towards that would be great. And also don't forget to put your thoughts in the comments below. Finally, do go and check out Kitbag. Remember, you can go and check out the new Manchester City home shirt for next season, the 2025-2026 season. It's dropped. It's available on Kitbag. You've got the authentic home shirts. You've got the replica home shirts, the goalkeeping home shirts. You've got lots of print in different sizes and everything available. You've got all the other good stuff on Kitbag that you can go and check out as well. Links and details there in the description. Do remember, use code WHISTLE on checkout and you'll get free delivery. And I'll see you all again probably tomorrow with another Man City transfer update, as things really hotting up ahead of the summer transfer window. And I don't just mean in terms of the weather here in the UK. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.